We got Bombay. Therapy Army, welcome to United Real Therapy. Big up to all of you. Your host, Mr. Structure. We got our residents here. Bombay, Jarvis, Bowley, 7-7. You know what I mean? Never gonna give you up. Never gonna let you down. There you go.
No,
Big up, Jarvis.
true.
Big up to everybody. Please smash a like. Big up to all those who smashed the like. I'm sorry for those other people that had internet problems, technical issues. Tried to update something of the laptop and things weren't functioning, so it is what it is. I apologize, people. But welcome to United Real Therapy. We're going to be talking about loads of different issues. So big up. We're going to be talking about Dan Ashworth, who I actually rate, and we're going to get into that. We're also going to do, but we'll do the preview for Luton first. We'll get that out of the way. But big up, Bumbaye. How you doing, Bumbaye?
Yeah, good evening, brother. Good evening, Jarvis. Good evening, everyone.
Evening,
I'm good, man.
Yeah, big up. And big up to Jarvis as well. How you doing, Jarvis? How's the weather in northern Norway?
It's good. It's good. No. It's not cold anymore. Now it's just like 2- degrees. It's snowing outside, so it's good. It's good.
2- degrees. I will be freezing my little you-know-what's off. If that's what was going on down there. But big up to everybody. Love and light, people. Love and light. I've got something to tell you a little bit, actually. I know that I'm not being... The past 4 months, I think, it's been a bit of a funny and strange time for me. I don't know how many of you in the chat know, but what's going on in Gaza, what's happening to the Palestinians, and what's happening in Sudan, things that are happening in the Congo, those kind of oppressions really are really freaking me out a bit. I don't know how many of you know, like I said, that I survived war as a child. As a child, I survived war, so a lot of the images of war really triggers me, and it really messes up with my mental health. And then that is having an effect on the shows that I can do, how my mental health is. And obviously, you don't even have to survive war to have a feeling what's going on, a genocide that's taking place. But yeah, I understand it's not easy listening to somebody who's a bit low down, maybe. But me, I'm a jokey kind of person. I like laughing at myself. I self-deprecating, but I know that a lot of that has not been happening. You know what I mean? And I know that that's not really a good thing for the community that we have. But yeah, I'm sorry, but then I'm not sorry. Do you know what I mean? I'm human, so I can feel like this. This is a natural reaction to a fucking genocide. You know what I mean? It's a natural reaction.
I think
to a genocide.
if you didn't have any of these things, you're lucky that you have that humanity in you. If you weren't feeling bad and if you weren't reacting to it, and if you were jolly, happy-go-lucky and everything's great, I think that would be more cause for concern for me about you.
Yeah. But football is what helps us to get away from these things, these horrific crimes and horrific dehumanization and inhumanity. And I always think football at its best, it brings all of us together. You know what I mean? It's the people's game, in it, and it's the beautiful game. So yeah, I just thought for transparency, I should let you know. And from now on, I promise to do more shows and more things about what's happening at Manchester United. And actually, I need the balance. You know what I mean? Because if I'm just in the way, I'm no use to the Palestinian cause and some of the activism and a lot of the demos and a lot of the things that we're doing. If I'm out of kilt, if it's just out of rage, do you know what I mean? If it's just out of like anger and trauma, do you know what I mean? It needs to be with clarity. It needs to be with clarity. It needs to be, strategic, and I need to see that. Do you know what I mean? If some of you understand it, hopefully everyone will be back. Yeah, big up to you, Rafa. Big up to Tuesday as well. Love, sorry, been struggling. I know all of us on here, we care, listen, to take care. Yeah, big up. I'm not just telling this to get anything, by the way. I'm just being transparent. Some of you can tell, and I've had some people reach out to me and go, is everything okay? But yeah, it is triggering. You know what I mean? It's triggering. And because of the way the technology is, like literally, the way the technology is, you see it all within an instant. You know what I mean? Within an instant on the phone, you see the horrific inhumanity and crimes You know what I mean? I know the news in the UK is not showing it. They're actually showing other things, but yeah, social media is all out there. So that is just me being transparent. I'm very sensitive when it comes to humanity. Very sensitive. Yeah, and I stay true to never compromising my values or principles in terms of like recognizing the humanity of everybody. But anyway, just a bit of transparency to you all. Yeah, man, Hector just saying there, sometimes you have to look after yourself. Self-care can take a break, and we get it always here. Yeah, it's love. Yeah, I feel a bit numb towards everything, including football. Here we go. This is it. And that's what I've been feeling like, honestly. And some people can tell, and some people can't, but you feel numb. Like, what the? Even when I'm walking down the road, I want to just grab everybody and shake them and go, do you know what the fuck is going on? Like, you know what I mean? What the fuck is going on? Like, people are getting genocided. Like, entire generation of children and families, like 30, are getting wiped out. That is not, and you're seeing it on here. You're seeing it instantly. You know what I mean? Instantly on here, regardless how much I try to shut it down. So that, I think it's been affecting me. But self-care is super important, 100%. And I'm a massive advocate of looking after your mental health. You know what I mean? Especially as, you know, there's a lot of men, there are women here, and there are maybe non-binary or people who don't even apply, because everybody's welcome on this channel. But especially men, a lot of straight men, we don't really talk about like mental health. We don't.
Yeah.
You know, I termed the the channel Therapy Army because the depression from Manchester United. So that's what it goes. And therapy is so important. Talking to friends and family when you're feeling down is important, and being transparent is super important. So yeah, that's something that's important to talk about. And I hope if you guys are struggling, you talk about it. You've got people to talk to about it. You've got, you know, if some of you want to go to a demo. And one of the best things about the demos actually is that I don't feel down when I'm there. I feel like light. It's like it's a release, because you have all these beautiful people. The whole of the human family is there. Everybody's represented there in the demos. And to think that you're not going crazy, you're not going mad, you know what I mean? And then that one voice, you know what I mean, chanting and supporting afterwards is where the come down comes, because I'm away from that. And then you're back to seeing the images on here. But anyway, people, I just wanted to update you a little bit. Lots of love. Factor, it's important to talk. That's not yet. Facts. Honestly, you know what they say in it? A problem shared is a problem halved. I already feel a little bit better for it. Talking to you now about this, I feel a little bit better for it.
But you're right, Nordin. You know, sometimes it's important to take a step back and protect yourself a little bit, because things gets a little bit too intense. You know, when you're on an airplane, you have the little flyers, the safety flyers, and it always tells you have to take the oxygen mask on yourself first, not even your children first, because if you die, you're no use.
Yeah,
you can't protect anyone else, so you gotta take care of yourself sometimes if it's too intense. So that's just
no, 100%. But big up everybody, love and light, and we send love and light to the Palestinians, and we send love, light, and liberation to the Palestinians and anybody else in this world who's oppressed. You know, whether it's your gender, your orientation, whatever it is, you know, your class. Wherever you are in this world, whether you're oppressed, we stand in total solidarity with you. And we send you love, liberation, and light. Big up to everybody. Want to get into Luton. Manchester United play Luton tomorrow at 4:30. We want to get into that. But Bumbaye, talk to me. What have you seen of Luton this season? And then I'll ask Jarvis the same question. But what have you seen from Luton this season? Have you watched any of their games? Have you watched a full game at all?
Yes, I've not watched many. I've watched, I think, bits here and there of Luton, and they're getting to grips with this thing called the Premier League after a difficult start, and they're getting some good results. At home, they seem to score quite a lot of goals. They concede, but they score. You know what? They remind me a little bit of. They got a little bit of Brentford last season about them. Now that they're organised, they work really, really hard on this team, which is what you expect usually for when they come up from the Championship. It was a bit shocking they lost against Sheffield United after having had such good results previously. And they've got a reasonably settled team. And you know what? They go for it. From what I've seen, they go on the transition good, and they got decent fullbacks that get balls in the box. So they're all right. It will not be. It's not going to be. It's a game we should win because you know what, we're playing really well. We're looking a little bit more settled, but we're at their ground. It's a weird ground. It's a weird atmosphere. It's different than anything else in the Premier League, and part of me thinks it's good for the Premier League to have that kind of stadium. You know, it brings everything back down to reality. If you ever seen the stadium, so I think Luton are all right at home. It's not. You know, every game has to be taken like a cup final, and if the players do that, then we should get through it. But I won't be surprised if it's not just a an easy day at the office. Basically, they're all right. They're decent side. They come to play and they've got confidence in themselves because they have had some good results. That's my assessment, bro.
Jarvis, what have you seen of Luton? Have you watched a full game of them? What do you know about them?
Nah, I haven't seen much. I saw the Liverpool game. They were really good. I've seen bits and pieces as Boumbaye talked about, but they play three in the back, or what do you like it? 5-5-3-2 or 3-5-2, whatever formation or number you want to call it. I think that's a little bit different from what we used to, because I think it will affect our high press, because we usually have two center backs to press and we put Højlund on those two guys and we double up on their striker with our center backs. But now we can't do this. So I'm a little bit curious to see how we will solve this high press against five in the back. But I think it will be an exciting game. I think there will be a lot of goals. They have a lot of pace on top with that guy Adebayo, the striker. He's been scoring, I think, 9 goals this season in the Premier League, and he scores a lot of goals on set pieces and corners, and most of the team do. And they have a good attacking pattern with Ted and Mengi crossing a long ball to Morris or Doughty on the other side. So we got to be aware. So Dallo can't bomb forward all the time. You got to be aware to cover the space in behind, because if he goes too high, the ball will come and they will run past us. So yeah, we will see how it goes. But it will be an exciting game. I think there will be a lot of goals. But to be honest, I'm not worried. I think we should beat Luton. We are in a good shape. We're good form. We have won the last 3 games. But knowing these guys again, you can't never trust this team. They have a tendency to sometimes drop off and don't show up when it comes to playing games like this. I remember, was it when we beat Manchester City, and the game after we lost against West Brom or something like that, a relegation candidate. So this is Man United, but we should beat Luton 100%, and I think we will. You're on mute, Nordic.
Yeah. I mean, I really like watching them. I'm not going to lie to you. I think I really like watching them. I think they're a very good team. I think I love the way they cross. I think they've got the highest, like they get the goals from them up. They have the best deliveries in the Premier League, if I'm not mistaken. I think they've got an amazing chemistry. You can see the synergy between them. They're really well together, and team spirit is a massive part for them. I don't see them ever getting hammered. They lose by the 1 goal or the 2 goals here and there. And the only big team that I've seen them beat them comfortably this season at their ground has been Chelsea. Chelsea beat them comfortably. City struggled for some periods in that game, Liverpool obviously only equalised in the last minutes in that game. And Spurs, it wasn't easy for Spurs either. So set pieces, 100% Conrad. Big up Conrad. It's very good at set pieces, but also like just deliveries into the box. Corners, they're very good at corners, but also like crosses into the box. The counter attack, they're really good with a counter attack. They get out quickly. So if Manchester United go with this three, we go with this. Jarvis tells it. This 3-1 6 formation.
3-1-6 formation, yeah.
We can get done, honestly. They would do us. I mean, one of the best players of the season, actually, one of the best midfielders of the season has been the resurgence of
Ross Barkley.
Ross Barkley, yeah. He's been absolutely brilliant for them. So you definitely need to be on the worry. And if they score first, it's a very tight ground. It's a very old school British football ground where the fans are on top of the people. So the atmosphere, them calling for everything, the whistle, the pressure of the opposition and the referee and the officials get under from their crowd is amazing. So if they score, we have to score first, and I think try to silence them. And I think then we have to maybe sometimes hit them on the counter on the transition. But their goalkeeper, for me, has been one of the goalkeepers of the season. I don't know if you've watched him. He's made some fantastic saves in so many big games. So I'm expecting a tough game tomorrow. But I hope, what they say in it, fights, styles makes fights. I hope the Manchester United style is something that they can't cope with. I'm hoping our style overwhelms them, overwhelms them, and then that we just can score goals. But I'm expecting a tough game, really tough game tomorrow. I don't know what you know about our injuries, but Jarvis, if you have a look, I think there might be some stuff that's coming out. My Twitter's acting funny, but actually I'm just about to post this.
Yeah, it's still the same. You have Malacia, Mason Mount, Martinez, Martial, of course, and then Wan-Bissaka is out. But I think Luke Shaw should be fine. Ten Hag didn't say anything and didn't confirm anything in the presser, but I think it will start. That's my my assessment.
Yeah. So and obviously this is the Premier League. 3 points you have to fight for. It's not guaranteed, is it? It's definitely not guaranteed.
And the thing with Luton is they come with the they are energetic. They are aggressive. Ross Barkley, they win the ball. They fight for every centimeter on the pitch, and this is where we can win the game actually by taking out Ross Barkley, because he's like the brain and the engine in this Luton team. He's the only creator. When he receives the ball, he can turn with it and pass it forward. So he's the main, I would say, creator in central, in the heart of the team. So for me, it's I don't know who will be covering him, if it will be Casemiro or Mainu, but one of them has to be spot on, right on, and don't let him get into the rhythm and get into the game in a way. We got to just brush it off and fight them as hard as they are fighting us. Because if you're not up for it, it will be a long day.
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting. It's going to be very, very interesting for me to see if we match the energy and intensity. Because they're a team that was used to playing in the Championship. And they've made I don't think they made many changes, if I'm not mistaken, unless somebody else knows better than me. But they play, and the level of intensity in the Championship is really tough. You know what I mean? That not getting any time on the ball. You know what I mean? You have to, if you're gonna beat them, you're gonna have to beat them with quality, with really good quality. That's what I feel like. You have to beat them with really good quality. Yeah.
Have you ever been to Kenilworth Road, Nurdin?
Never. I've never been to a game. I've been to a couple of the London, but I've never been to that road. To that. No.
It is a really small pitch with pubs and stores on the outside integrated into the pitches, isn't it?
Yeah. Stadium. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The stadium is part.
It's integrated into a housing Like there's houses on the entrances in on either side. I've seen pictures of it on Google. So if you type in Kenilworth Stadium,
I knew they couldn't play. Yeah, I knew they couldn't play the first couple of games in the Premier League. I knew that because they had to sort out something for that. They had to sort out some issues. You know, they had to refurb certain things. It's yeah.
And the referee tomorrow is David Coote. I don't know if he's been reffing us this season, but it's not the worst referee we could have, at least.
Well, you say that. Don't put the kiss of death on it, Jarvis.
Knock on wood.
It's an important game, this one. If we win this tomorrow, you can really start to say, and if we win it well, I think this starts to feel like a genuine, we are turning the corner. We have taken the corner and we are starting to turn it. That's what it'll feel like to me. And I think if you win tomorrow, we're on 41 points in 6th place. Below us is Newcastle on 25 games. We've got a game in hand. So we win tomorrow, we effectively wave, bye-bye to Newcastle to an extent. Now that's where the league breaks off. And Tottenham again got popped today. I think 2-1. I think it was 2-1.
Yeah, it was 2-1, yeah.
So he's starting to crumble a little bit, Postecoglou,
Is he?
Yeah, the results are not great anymore. They're down now they're on 47 points. They're out the top 4, they're 5th. We win tomorrow. There's one game between us and them for that 5th spot. And then you're looking at Villa 1, so we're 8 points away from Villa. So tomorrow is a big game, man. They really are, as Eric Ten Hag, I hope he's drilling it into the team. These are all cup finals now, guys. If we're not going to play well, then we're going to have to be resolute. It's one or the other. I'll accept not playing quite well, although that is important from now to the end of the season for my determination of what I think. But if we're not going to play well, I accept you can't play well every single week. Only usually Man City can do that, but you know what? They drew today with Chelsea. So let's get 3 points. If it's not going our way, let's not be stupid. Remember the main goal here, it's a cup final, because tomorrow 3 points is massive.
Yeah, it's massive. I agree, and especially when Spurs lost. I saw the game. Brighton or Bournemouth, really impressive.
Wolves.
Wolves. I mean, Wolves and the Neto, really impressive. What a player. That's a right winger. I would like it at our team.
I thought about him as well. He's only problem with Neto is the injuries are usually quite lengthy every year.
Yeah. Well,
I don't know if you've noticed, a really good player, fantastic player. It reminds me of Jota, the other side.
Yeah.
Small, compact, strong, just does not stop, very busy. Qualities there, will score a goal, got courage. But he just gets me. You look at him, I'd have him. I mean, imagine
courage.
we spent
Courage is the word.
Yeah,
You saw it today on the goal. He has courage. He just bombed through and stopped and passed the ball for the assist. So he was fantastic. I agree. But now if we win tomorrow, it will be 3 points up to Spurs, and that's then we are in action. There will be a fight until the end of the season now.
I mean, we're looking at Villa. It's 8 points now with Villa. So, if tomorrow you just get a point or no points, it's not, and they win. You just make it harder and harder. I know.
Villa won. Yeah,
Villa won.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. Well, 8 points. 5 points sounds a lot better than 8. 8, it sounds far, man. So that's the goal. There has to be a goal this for the rest of the season as you turn a corner.
Well, Eric Ten Hag said it's every game is a cup final.
Yeah.
So we're gonna have to see. Yeah. But anyway, let's get into it, people. Let me just so Luton have no fresh injury concerns. New signing Diki Hasishoka could be included for the first time. Max Anderson, Marvelous Nakamba, club captain Tom Locker will remain the only long-term absentees. Manchester United remain optimistic on Luke Shaw's availability after he was withdrawn at half-time last week. Aaron Wan-Bissaka suffered a knock in training and will join Maracia Martial, Lissandro Martinez and Mason Mount on sidelines. Match facts, Luton have failed to win any of their past 12 games against Manchester United in all competition, drawing 2 and losing 10. The most recent league meeting between the sides was Kenilworth Road, ended up 1-1 in April 1992. So the first, I thought, 92, Luton's only victory in their past, Luton's only victory in the past 5 Premier League games was by 4-0 at home against Brighton. They've drawn 2 and lost 2. Each of Luton's last 4 league defeats have come at Kenilworth Road. So their record at home has not been that great recently. The Hatters have scored 11 consecutive top-flight fixtures since their 1-0 defeat at Old Trafford in November, equaling a club record set from December 1957 to 1958. The only team to have failed to score in the Premier League home games this season is Spurs. The only team to have failed to score against in 12 Premier League home games this season has been Spurs. Rob Howard's side are averaging 15.1 shots per game the past 7 league matches compared to 10.3 over the opening fixture, 16 fixtures. So yeah, they're a better team now. Like you said, Bombay, they've established themselves and now they're going for it. Clayton Morris could become the first Luton player to score 3 consecutive top-flight games since Mick Hadford in April 92. Third match in Hadford's run was 1-1 draw, home draw with Manchester United. Wow, that's an omen and a half. Manchester United are looking to win 5 consecutive matches in all competition for the first time since January 2023. Eric Ten Hag's side have earned 6 Premier League away fixtures this season. Only Manchester City and Arsenal have registered more. So the away record is picking up a little bit. United are unbeaten. The Red Devils have won 11 consecutive league fixtures against promoted sides. United are unbeaten in the last 25 Premier League games in February, winning 16, drawing 9, and last losing a league match 6 years ago. Scott McTominay has 7 league goals this season. It's been worth 12 points, the most of any player in the division. Return of the Mac for Bombay. Rasmus Højlund could become the 4th player, United player to score 6 consecutive Premier League appearances, emulating Cristiano Ronaldo, Ruud van Nistelrooy, and Eric Cantona. What a list to be in, eh? Young Rasmus. But yeah, that's the reality, people. That's where we are. That's what's happening. But big up to everybody. Love and like. Please smash a like on the video. There's over 150 of you in here. And yeah, let us know what your opinions about the game is tomorrow. I've been twice. Luton. The pitch feels very claustrophobic in all parts. As fans, you can literally touch the players. Great atmosphere, though. Yeah, big up to Stuart Woodley. We can get momentum on our side now. Our mission is top 4. Yeah.
Momentum.
United controlled the game. It shouldn't be a problem. But we've really, I've not seen any game we've controlled this season. Honestly, I really not seen any. I like Neto, Olise, but they're too injury-prone. Martial, I don't want any injury-prone players. Big up Man UFC realist David Mick. He says Spurs.
Big up Mick.
Spurs, innit? That's what it's called, innit? So, but I do like Ange. I like the football they play. I've not watched the game today, but I'll be shocked if Spurs did not have Bombardier goal, Wolves goal. I'll be shocked if the Wolf goalkeeper didn't make big saves. Because the system that Spurs play, they make chances, they create chances. Or maybe they just caught them on a bad day. Maybe they caught them on a bad day and Wolves were the better team by far. That can happen in football.
No, Spurs were the better team. They had the ball and the pressure and possession, but Wolves defended well and they didn't create a lot of big chances. Spurs, so I think Wolves were a little bit comfortable with the game and how it played itself out.
Okay, that's interesting. Interesting. Big up. Did you watch it, Mick? Did you watch the game? Yeah, you watched parts of it. Okay, big up.
I watched it.
Yeah, big up to you. Yeah, I'm awake. I want to hear score predictions. Want to hear score prediction tomorrow. I think it could be a draw tomorrow. I think it'll be a draw tomorrow. I've just got a feeling. All past couple of days, the score that's been coming in my mind is a draw. But I hope Manchester United win. Obviously, I hope that we win, but a draw because I don't know if we can control the game. Me personally, I really don't think we control the game. Here comes Say Miassi people. Get ready for Say Miassi. Big up to people with the super chats, by the way. Did you see Arsenal's masterpiece, Saka Ballon d'Or? Big up Say Miassi. Say Miassi, man. You've come out. The shout out to Shisha you're smoking these days, man. Saka Ballon d'Or. What about the Champions League? Are you going to win the Champions League as well? Are you doing a double? Let me know if you're doing a double. Big up, Inhaler Man says, I will send you a couple of inhalers, bro. You know you can enhance the mood as well. The body. Those 4 consecutive wins weren't coincidence. Big up to you, man. Big up Inhaler Man. Big up Love and Light, man. Big up to everybody. Yeah. Yeah.
Dodgy Dave.
Dodgy Dave, mate. Dodgy Dave. With his
Dodgy
inhalers.
Dave.
Yeah, Dodgy Dave and inhalers. Saka, somebody says the Carter Dior. Big up to Craig.
Big up Craig Wolby, man.
Arsenal for the league. He says, yeah, we want. I want Arsenal to win the league. I don't want Liverpool.
You know what? It would be really good, I think, for the Premier League and this young side, man. I must say, put everything aside with Arsenal, and on a real note now, when Wenger was producing that football, it was kind of everybody was an honorary Barca football fan when Pep was there. You would just enjoy that, you know, and that was the same with Wenger, and they're really getting it together, you know, this team. I think the signings they've made this season have really helped them. I think Declan Rice has been really good for them. They look hungry. They're a young side, and last year's experience of going very close, I think, puts them in a reasonable stead again to say they are involved in a title race proper.
Mm-hmm. I know it might be sacrilegious saying this, but you know, Arsenal winning, I'm not sure. I'm not sure about that.
Outside
because okay, I know you guys who lives in Manchester, you feel the heat when City win. But for me, who is a worldwide fan, I live in Norway. The buzz of City winning the league is over in a couple of hours, and then you don't hear anything about it. But if Arsenal wins, you will hear the Arsenal fans constantly nagging about, oh, we won the league for months to come, all summer long. I don't want that.
I think Matt House is saying Rice is a donkey. I don't know if that's got anything to do with him playing for England instead of Ireland, Matt House. Come on now. The kid's been good this season, I must say. There was some doubters, but man, the guy
who's that? Rice and Peas. Rice and Peas. Nice, been sensational, man. It's been amazing. You know what? I'm not gonna lie to you.
Has been something.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie to you. Honestly, I'm happy to be wrong, but I didn't rate him. I thought he was a lot of hype, but he's actually a really good player. I didn't rate him at Southampton. At West Ham, because West Ham didn't play attacking football, so I could never truly see him. You know what I mean? It was very defensive. Everybody's tight together. But now he is a leader for Arsenal. He is an absolute leader for Arsenal. And actually, one of the things that I've watched when I've watched Rice this season is that he's how much he drives with the ball. He can take the ball. He's got long strides. Yeah, he drives with the ball, drives, and he eats up like acres. You know what I mean? Just by him looking after the ball and just running with the ball. Like Roy Keane used to do that. It reminds me of Roy Keane. Roy Keane and Paul Ince. Paul Ince was incredible at this. Paul Ince getting the ball and driving down the middle. You know what I mean? Driving with it. He was brilliant. And so was Roy Keane. But,
what big up Matt House. I feel the pain there. I do.
Yeah, he's better than Matt Dominic. He is 100%.
Yeah.
And I didn't rate him that much. I thought it was a lot of hype, but I was happy to be wrong. You see, everybody.
Do you know what he's? Do you know what Declan Rice? I had to watch it a few times. There are these players. I don't know if you agree, where you're listening to people saying really good things and bigging them up, and you're watching them and you're thinking it looks all a little bit pretty simple to me. I'm not seeing anything. I feel Declan was one of those, but I kind of got onto Declan Rice 2 seasons ago, and I started to think, you know what? Yeah, what Declan Rice has is, for me, the engine, the ability to drive. Plays it simple. He's starting to switch the ball a little bit better now, to bring the wingers into play from midfield. But he's excellent at sniffing out danger. He's a very clean tackler, and he has a good positional sense on the pitch. What he also has is very good technical player. I know that's
Yeah.
maybe a stretch for people, but Declan Rice, one of his best qualities for me, has an excellent first touch. That when you watch Declan receive the ball, um, he receives it, and the first touch immediately puts the ball into space for him to run onto it and move. He doesn't just put it stationary, then decide where I'm going. He's got a really nice first touch that sets him up to move. Um, and that's something I think that goes amiss with Declan Rice. But I think he's only 23, 24. He's still a kid. And he's gone for
Yeah.
100 million. And he's producing. He's not affected him. So I think they're doing really well, and he's learning from the guys
He's
like
25.
Jorginho. Right, 25.
Yeah. Still
Still
young.
young. Yeah. And you've got Odegaard there, and he seems like a really good pro. I watched the game at Liverpool. I thought Arsenal was sensational in that game. Jorginho, geez, don't know if you watched that game where Arsenal popped Liverpool recently.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
the way he is with the older players like Jorginho, he says, I'm learning. He was magnificent today. You're watching these guys, and the attitude is so important as well. Um, for top players, uh, good attitude, set standards, meet standards. On
Mm.
time, train well, train like you're going to play. This is the kind of thing you want, and it takes you a long way, even if you're not a great player in some managers' eyes. You're not a problem child. You're always ready.
Yeah, he's kind of a midfielder we should have at Man United. Solskjaer was in for him at the time,
Yeah.
but I don't know what happened there. I think we didn't want to pay up the price wanted, but the tone from the Man United fans weren't really positive when we were in for Rice. It was always like, oh, now we're in for Rice and Longstaff and stuff like that, and suddenly we were in for Bellingham, boring players. But
No, I like, to me Bellingham. Bellingham was a generational talent.
yeah, but at
When I
the
saw
time,
him in the
people didn't
Championship.
realize it. People didn't realize it at the time.
I don't know. I would have
Yeah,
taken Declan Rice,
honestly, so a lot of United fans in
Bellingham.
Manchester did. We saw him for Birmingham when he's 16 years old, running through people, like doing what he's doing. Honestly, amazing attacking midfield player. And United actually rolled out the red carpet for him. Got Ferguson there. You know what I mean? Did everything to try to get him. Apparently, Murta fucked it up. And Fergie was pissed off about it. But listen, I want to get your score predictions, man. I'll go to you, Jarvis. What do you think tomorrow? What do you think tomorrow? You quite confident about tomorrow's game?
I'm quite confident. I don't want to ruin it, but they are.
Go on, Jarvis. Put the kiss of death on it. Go on. You might as well go. Go on.
Okay, I'll say 3-1.
That's exactly what I had in my head. 3-1.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow.
Nicely done. Nicely done.
Super confident. Get your scores in, people. Get your scores in. Go on, Mumbai.
Jarvis, when we say 3-1 against Luton, now we're super confident. That's how dog we are. It's like, wow, this is breaking news. 3-1, really, guys?
We're going to lose 4-0. I unjinxed it.
Unjinxed it. We're back.
You put the kiss of death on it.
Oh.
1-1. Go on, get your scores in, people. Get your scores in.
We've got 1-1, 3-1. Let's be positive. We've got 2-1.
Yeah, but Luton is at 17th place, and this Everton is behind them, and Everton lost 10 points. So Luton is basically a relegation fodder. Yeah. If we can't win against Luton, we have nothing in the Champions League to do next year anyway. So we need to win this game.
Yeah.
Be nice to go and win it, with a bit of style, put a bit of shine
But
on
I'm
it.
just saying to you, Liverpool struggled, City struggled. Liverpool got a draw there. I know it's beginning of the season, but still. Mystic McTominay winner, Hector saying, return of the Mac.
Still got that profile picture saved. Pop that out when needs be.
Yeah. I don't know what I've got. I just got a draw. I've got a draw. I don't really control games. I think this is going to be their biggest game because the name Manchester United means something. And I think their fans are going to make the most noise. You know what I mean? They're going to come out in force. Manchester United are in town. This is the fixture they've been looking forward to, the fixture and to say they beat Manchester United. And I always remember every season, teams who are being relegated have always beat us. Remember, it was Cardiff that beat us, Huddersfield that beat us, Swansea, remember beating us, West Brom, Albion beating us.
West Brom.
There's so many teams.
You make a good point, to be honest. Manchester United is Manchester United, and everybody would love to take that scalp, especially at home. You know what I mean? Man United, as you say. So maybe they try that 10% harder against this Man United. You don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Big up, people. Big up. So my head tells me United might nick it. My heart says United might nick it, but my head tells me it's a draw. But big up to everybody. Anyway, let's get into it, people. Let's get into it. So, as a director of football, I actually rate Dan Ashworth. Dan Ashworth has done a lot of work in the FA. He's done work at West Brom. He's done work in Brighton. You know what I mean? He's done work.
England.
You know what I mean? At different clubs to where he's been. So I actually rate him. So the question is, if he comes to Manchester United, and it's an if, because I don't think he can come now. And I think that even if you let him go and Manchester United were to pay the compensation to Newcastle, for him to let him go, they will put. I don't think he's for this summer transfer. I'll be shocked it'd be for this summer transfer because he knows the plans of Newcastle already, and they don't want him to steal those plans those players that I'd get. So they might put him on the gardening leave, what's called as gardening leave. So basically, he's not allowed to work. Just like Omar Barada, even though he's talking to United at the time and coordinating with them, he's not technically working. You know what I mean? Because he's been put on, gardening leave. And that's because the way you get him from, they have to work off. You can resign and say, yeah, I've resigned. But because of the contract that you have, that means you can't go to a competitor straight away. Do you know what I mean? So there has to be a period past. And that could be in terms of what it could be at Newcastle. I do rate him. But my question with all these, when it comes to Omar Baradi, when it comes to Dan Ashworth, if whoever else comes, what for me is that will they be given the tools to do their job properly? That would be that's where I can tell, if this is serious or not. That's my judgment. Is that do they have the independence and do they have the tools? Are they be given the right tools to be able to do their job fully? Because I'm a believer, you can get all the great names you want, right? All the guys. If you don't give them the right tools and have the set amount of atmosphere for them to thrive in the job, then you're just getting names.
Let me ask you.
And the next topic we'll come to it is that are Man United now linked with Jason Wilcox? He was an academy guy, Jason Wilcox.
If you see my slide, I shared it. So if you can bring it up to the screen, just to put it in the picture so people can see, this is the new structure as we are talking about with Ratcliffe, Blanc on the board, Brailsford, Barada, Ashford, and now talking about Wilcox, old Blackpool player. I remember him from the 90s. He was a winger, and apparently he's a really good. I don't know what this role will be. I think it will be something like director of football, something.
But so is Ashworth going to be the sporting director?
Yeah,
he's going to be the football director. So it's interesting. So Dan Ashworth now, just to give you the roles, Dan Ashworth here, he is the. I don't know if you can see that. I've got my arrow. I don't know if some of you can see it, but maybe you're not able to see it. But Dan Ashworth, so that's it, Jarvis. Dan Ashworth, he's a director of football right now at Newcastle. and Jason Wilcox was the youth director or youth development at Manchester City, and now he's the Southampton director of football.
Do you know?
So for me, the question is, if Dan Ashworth was going to be the footballing director, right? Is he like, in case Manchester United can't get it and Newcastle make it difficult, is Jason Wilcox second choice or plan B? That's what I was thinking, because nobody really knows if Dan Ashworth will be able to allow to leave and how long the type of contract that he signed before he can start at Manchester United. And the work that needs to be done for the players that Manchester United need to sign usually starts in January. Do you know what I mean? To get ready for the transfer window for the summer, you start in January, February at the latest. So if both of them are not here, what does that mean? Let me just get the super chat.
Yeah.
Well, big up. Go ahead, Mumbai.
I mean, there's a few things. My brain is,
Big up, Craig, by the way. Thank you so much for the super chat. Would we forsake player signing this summer for the sake of long-term structure signing? I would forsake the fact that this summer I'll let people leave. And by the way, any director of football, so whether it's the CEO, Omar Barada, Dan Ashworth, or Jason Wilcox, I am not judging them on signing players. Me, Jarvis, and Bumbaye can sign players. It's not that easy. All we have to do is go and get agents' numbers and sign players. What I'm going to be expecting our CEO, the sporting director, and the director of football is to how much you clean dead wood, how much you clear the wages for you to be able to sign players on decent wages, and maybe where they can install a kind of a, what do you call it, a wage structure.
Do you know,
but go ahead, Mumbai.
Let's if we're to work through this six now, think of Jim Ratcliffe as the godfather, and this is the hit squad he's assembling. That's pretty simple, yeah? So just put him out the picture. Now we've got 5 guys left. Blanc, I understand, is a guy that is all about business admin. So this is a guy that is going to generate revenue for the club through sponsorship and shit like that. That's some of the stuff.
Yeah, but he has footballing experience from PSG and especially Juventus, where he built them a new stadium and stuff like that. So he has a lot of experience when it comes to football and running a football club.
Yeah, so this guy is basically PSG. He made a statement: we don't want to take over Madrid and we don't want to take over United. We want to be an elite club in the digital age where information is instantaneous. So what they did, for example, is put the Michael Jordan logo on the PSG shirt to make it appealing for a much more global audience that transcends what PSG ordinarily attract in the football world. And he did it successfully. So yes, he's running and understands football and how to position a club to achieve their goals. But there is a lot of financials involved there with Blanc, it seems. Now, I'm interested in, I don't know anything about Wilcox, and I have no idea about what Omar Barada does either. I'm interested in how Dan Ashworth and Brailsford are going to work, because Dan Ashworth starts at Peterborough. He goes into England, and he has been credited at England and in West Brom with instilling the manager's philosophy of football right the way through the club. Now, Brailsford, I'm not sure where the jurisdictions of these two end. Brailsford has this philosophy that's called marginal
Dodgy
gains.
Dave on this channel, thank you very much, Mumbai.
Sorry,
Dodgy
excuse
Dave.
me. I stand corrected. Dodgy Dave. So Dave has got marginal gains. He breaks things down, looks how he can improve them, then puts everything back together. But I'm trying to think, where does your power end, Dodgy Dave, and Dan Ashworth, where does it start? Yeah, exactly. Do you know what I mean? Like, how is this? Who's in charge of what? But I really like the idea of Dan Ashworth. I'll just put that out there. I think he's one of the best in class. The CV is impressive. So I don't know. This is, maybe shed some light on it for us if you've got a take.
How I see it, I see. Of course, Ratcliffe is the godfather, if you can call him that, and Blanc.
He's the co-owner. He's the co-owner. 25%.
Co-owner.
He's the 25%. He's the chief of 25% sexuals. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's the godfather of the 25% sexuals. Yeah.
Yeah, the godfather of 25% sexuals, and you have Blanc. As I see it, he will build us a new stadium. Brailsford Grip will build us a new training facilities and take care of everything, so everything is tip top. And Berada will bring us other clubs and a network of clubs. Ashford will bring us the structure of football, and Wilcox will bring in the players. That's how I see it. And somewhere in between, like the wage structure and stuff, that's Ashford.
So Bombay, Dodgy Dave is known for performance analysis. He believes in this philosophy, these games, like he top flight, in sport, across all sport. He believes it's like this
marginal gains,
marginal gains, like this 0.5% improvement in performance can get you a long way. So that's his philosophy. He's already spoke to the players, and Maguire and the rest of them let it out, that he's already spoke to them about his philosophy. Now, a lot of people have said he sounds a bit like David Brent. you know from The Office. But it is what it is. But he does carry inhalers. So maybe, I know that a lot of other teams, Liverpool specifically, have had their inhalers. You know what I mean? So maybe it's time for us to have our inhalers. You know what I mean? But it's going to be very interesting. Blanc, for me, what he did when Juventus got relegated, he managed that transition for them from. Remember when AC Milan, Juventus, I think it was 2006. Remember when Italy won the World Cup, and it was that season, that 2005, where they got found intimidating. But basically referees, they were intimidating referees, and they were fixing. There's a guy called Mufc, actually, who was a director of football at Juventus, and he would have a regular meetings with the head of the referees association. They were fixing the referees and matches. So he Blanc helped that transition. But it wasn't all gravy, by the way. Blanc was also in charge of going around Europe, seeing the top clubs with the players who were last on their contract, the last year of their contract. And for example, he gave Aaron Ramsey 400 grand a week. Ramsey was one of the highest paid Serie A footballers in the history of Serie A. And I think it was tax-free, I think it was. Yeah, tax-free. That's what it was. So it's not all as cracked up to be. And that's why you had the rumors in the newspapers in a couple of weeks ago, where they were saying, oh yeah, Manchester United are looking at the likes of Kimmich, and also looking at top players like Alfonso Davies, who are maybe coming to they've only got 1 year left. And some of these players, it's their last year of contract, the last contract in football, their big contract. They're looking for big wages. So how does that go along with Manchester United being affected by the FFP because of our debt? We've got this £600 million in debt in terms of the bonds, where we could be spending, if we didn't have to spend the down payment, and all that revenue will go into. But this thing where the fans would say we choose to have a more of a wage structure. So we're making sure that players have to earn the big wage. They have to be consistent for them to earn the big wage, other than just giving the big wage straight away. Big up Windy says, if some people are coming here, they're going to be on the garden leave until the end of the season. Would you have had time to do evaluation before the summer? And this is the thing. So it's going to be very interesting, isn't it? It's going to be very interesting for me.
I think
we don't know what contracts, like especially Ashworth and Wilcox and that. We know that I think he can start. Barada will be able to start in the summer, right? The link between Barada obviously knows Wilcox from Man City. They work closely together. That's what we're linked with. But it's going to be very interesting to see the types of contracts they have, because it's about, in the corporate world, it's companies protecting the knowledge, inside knowledge that they have, protecting that. So that's why they're on gardening leave, sabbatical. You know, they're in that. There is a time before they can start their job. But we already know he's making calls. Like this guy, Omar, he's making calls already, and he's already like talking with everyone. You know, all of the Ineos quarter sexuals inside the club. But we'll see what happens. Technically, you can't even read an email from the new employer whilst you're on garden leave, but there are ways around that. Yeah, of course, you're not going to get caught, are you? Nobody's going to catch you and go, ooh, we seen you catch it. Everybody knows that. Technically, like the garden leave, unless you get caught and then that company decides to sue, then it's a different matter. But they have to prove it. Are they going to prove that? Unless they've got you tapped up, they've got detectives following Omar Baradi and Dan Ashworth and all that. But apparently, like the only thing what the Dan Ashworth thing for me is that I heard a clip of Eddie Howe saying, you know, there's something going on. He doesn't know the details, but there's something going on. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we're trying to rob Dan Ashworth. That's what's going on. Okay. What's your thoughts on?
Listen. Let me stand corrected. Ibrahim says, no, Nuruddin, Blanc left long time before Juve dominance in Serie A back in 2012. Okay, fair enough. Stand to be corrected. If you know more than me, I put down to your Serie A knowledge. Hear me out. Any other Fletcher Murta, Joe Glazer, it's like an upgrade window. 85 to a window 11. Thoughts?
Yeah, so Mick's actually asking what I was about to say, which is whatever we think, you know, I mean, I don't think you're going to get perfection. I think football exists now within a realm that is not all about morality and principles and fight for the badge. You know, some of that is gone. It's by and large a business. You know, the money has changed the face of football and ruined it a little bit, to be honest. But we exist in it, and we can't change it as a club, and we can't change our ownership. These guys, to me, considering what we've not had in terms of these types of positions in the club, and the people that have been given jobs to try and do the job that these 5 are being brought to do, it seems like a very, very positive step, really in the right direction, that I hope will materialize in the way that we roll. And this team will be the exact conduit that any manager needs. And I think so it's a major plus and major stretch in the right direction from where I'm sat. And that's somebody how do you feel about it?
But Bombay, for me, it's like I said before when we got into this topic. I said that you can get all these guys, like especially Omar Barada, Ashford, Wilcox.
That's actually what I wanted to ask you as well. So the tools.
Right?
What are the tools?
Listen, you can get them, but if you don't give them the right tools and the type of freedom for them to make their decisions without interference from Glazers, then they might be able to do their job. But for me, I just see the way Manchester United have worked. I can only go on what's happened before. And some people are like, oh, you've got trauma. Yeah, I have got trauma. I have. I don't trust the fucking Glazers. I don't trust them once.
One example. One example is the US tour we are going on this summer. Is that the best for sporting, or is it best for commercial? And who is making the decision?
I think that US tour has been a problem since Van Gaal days. But the US market is massive. And this is where I was saying, unfortunately, football is being affected. And the problem with the Glazers, in my opinion, is they have had their eyes primarily on commerce, which is fine. But the pitch usually has to be a very, very close second, if not the priority. But the football has been a very distant second. It's almost felt like a rich father whose son wants him. He keeps just giving him money to go and buy a computer game, go to the mall, get the best clothes. But he's not benefiting from anything. It's all short term, no foresight solutions. So I think the advent of Jim Ratcliffe bringing real footballing people into the club like this with really good track records is a step in the right direction. Of course, like Nura's saying, 100% the trauma that we've suffered and the amount of crap that we've gone through with signings and the people that have been put into positions to do a job they've not done very well. Of course, we go into this with reservations. What I'd say about the tools, bro, and that is exactly is important, is all I'm saying is I'm going to give Jim Ratcliffe and this hit crew of his an opportunity. And that opportunity, I'm hoping to see something in the summer. How are we going to roll? How are we going to move? You know, what are we going to sign? How are we going to sell? What kind of contracts are we going to give out? Are we, you know, all this kind of thing is going to show me everything I need to know with regards to, is this just a smokescreen bullshit? Is Jim Ratcliffe fake? Is this whole thing a charade? Or is this for real? Does this guy believe that I've invested my money, I can make this club be worth even more? So if I sell my share, I still make money. I can either do it for legacy and be the guy that changed Manchester United's fortunes and, you know, live my dream. And that would be a great thing to do as I sail off into the sunset and my golden years. Or it's not going to work and it's bullshit. But I think we will have to wait and we have to give it a chance and we will see. Dan Ashworth is responsible for some fabulous stuff that has happened in terms of Brighton, in terms of West Brom, in terms of England. It's there. The track record is there. There's no reason why you shouldn't be able to come to Manchester United. Okay, maybe not to that extent, but make a dent in it. Do something nice. Do you know what I mean? He had a hand in some of the best stuff that Brighton have done in terms of getting players. Caicedo, what's that guy Liverpool signed, won the World Cup? That's Dan Ashworth work. So we will see how it goes, and I want to give it a go, give it a chance, because if this doesn't happen, then all we've got is the Glazers,
McAllister.
McAllister. So this is why for me it is. I go into it like you with a reservation, but I am a little bit like excited by it because if there's no Ratcliffe, if there's no nothing, yeah, then you already know what you are gonna get, which is shit.
Yeah.
So I'll take this for now, bro.
Listen, only time will tell.
Yeah.
For me, only time will tell. And I'm not going to lie to you. Like I said, I'm judging all of this Ineos quarter sexual business. I'm judging them on the sales, how they get rid of players. Because Manchester United are one of the worst football clubs in the last decade and a decade and a half of selling players. Manchester United do not sell well, while Manchester City and Chelsea have been the two best teams selling players. Arsenal as well, to be fair. Arsenal were quite good at selling players as well. Like Manchester United are not. Liverpool are good. Liverpool sold. Look, Liverpool put the money back.
The best.
Yeah, Liverpool sold 2 players or 3 players. They sold Suarez. They sold Coutinho. Who else did they sell?
Do you know if you go back with Liverpool to the days of Benteke for 25 million?
They sold him. Yeah, they signed him for whatever, and they sold him. Yeah,
Jordan Ibe for 12 million. When 12 million was all right, you know what I mean? They've not.
And now he's playing at the lowest. Yeah, Solanke. Yeah.
Nordin, I have a question when it comes to this structure. What do you think is the most important? Because we know that we are probably in need of a new stadium, training facilities. We need new players. This wage structure of the club is wrong. Where do they start?
For me, it'd be
what will be the first and the biggest thing to fix?
For me, would be the debt. That's for me. That getting rid of that. That to me is around the club, or the neck around the club that who's not used to being in debt. I understand the credit. You need a credit line like any business now, because football is part of business. I don't mind I think even though the debt that we own, the amount of players that we signed, we own, That's a bit excessive. You know what I mean? That's a bit. That's what 364 million it is. The debt that we own. It's the highest. It's one of the highest in the Premier League. You know, it's one of the highest in world football, right? So, but on the line of credit, the 200 million, whatever that's all right when you make 600 million. But to me, it's a 600 million pound in debt that's been there for 19 years. That's important. A stadium and a training ground are very important. In terms of infrastructure, those things are for me the debt and the stadium that the Old Trafford needs. Honestly, we need a 90-seat, 100-seater stadium. I'm telling you, you can fill it. You will not still feel like it's empty. You could fill it, right? For me, it's about how they sell players, Jarvis. It's how we get. Listen, at the best clubs, if you make a mistake, like for example, like Harry Maguire or Anthony, you sort it out straight away. You do not let it fester. Or Anthony Martial starts becoming injury prone. You get rid. You know what I mean? Like you get rid. You cover it up. Like look at how many players at Man City. Look at all the centre halves. Look at all the centre halves they signed. And then they were like, no, see you later, see you later, see you later. They do it quickly. They don't let it fester. That to me is so important. And at times, players who maybe have big reputations, they're not performing at Manchester United, you have to be able to get rid of them. And the only players that for me was like Lukaku really wanted to go, Di Maria really wanted to go. Other than those two, I think Di Maria, we made a little bit more. We got our money back with Lukaku, almost. But it's crazy. It's crazy.
What do you guys think? I mean, for me, before a stadium and before anything like that, I want to see how we're behaving. I want to see that we are actually behaving like a club that is.
I'm with you, Jamie Wayne. I'm with you. I don't believe anything till I see it. But go ahead, Mumbai.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna get
we're going to have to wait to see the structure, you know, how it works in the summer and how we move. But I think for me, I wouldn't go and invest more money on the stadium, and I want to see whether this is for real before we start to commit Manchester United to more debts. And that means, are you going to be able to be a better oiled, more efficient machine? And that means sometimes brings me on to my next question. Are we gonna, let's say, okay, we've got a player there that we all love, we really want him, but it doesn't make financial sense. What it would mean is creating more shit like we've had before. And the club is saying now we're not sanctioning these deals anymore now. We're not paying the Manchester United premium, and we're not going to give a 5-year, £300,000 a week contract. Just imagine you had like let's do it hypothetically. You had another Sancho job. Get him. He's amazing. He's flying. The fans want him. He looks right, but he wants 350 a week and 4-year contract at 22 years of age, and the club say no, we're not going to do that, and we're not going to do that because he's not Premiership proven. And we're not going to do that because it's too much money too soon. He has to earn it. We'll give you a 2-year deal. We'll give you 200 grand. And if you don't want it, we'll have to move on and get someone else. How would we as fans interpret that? Because we're sat here arguing and calling the club out because of these problems like we've had with Maguire. How do you shift 100 and 200 grand a week on Sancho? Yeah, he's young. Somebody might come in and give you 50 million for him. Great. But who pays 350 a week? Martial, you've not been able to get anywhere with that. You just have to take the hits, 250 a week. Do you understand what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
So how are we going to interpret that? Are we going to reproach the club? What is it that we actually want? This is the question now, because if the club start behaving in a good way and saying, no, we're not doing that anymore, are we going to say, no, they're not signing the right players, man. They're not doing the thing.
No. For me, listen, I've never been about signing big players for big hype, because the thing that I always said about every signing, the way those players play for their club, because their club is stable, because their clubs have infrastructure, the clubs are there, all the tools are there for that person to thrive if they're that type of player. And Manchester United, they come and fail. We're a graveyard for managers and players because there's nothing behind the scenes. So for me, I'm about only signing players for the first or second big contracts, like fresh, especially younger players. I would always prefer to, at the most 24, 25. That's what I said. But let me just get this Kenway Darko.
Yep.
Kenway Darko, are you on Twitter? Because you can put your money where your mouth is. You can test my football knowledge. You can come on here and come and have your say. But the rest of it is just rent-free, my friend. It's just rent-free. Good try, though. Good troll. I think you're just trolling right now. But if you are on Twitter, I dare you to tag me in a tweet, and then I'm happy to send you the link and everything else, and then you can come and argue it. All right? Let me just get this super chat. Big up Inhaler says, Jim the Rat controls. Jim the Rat's control. Blanc fixing revs. Omar cooking the books. Dan Quarter PR. Wilcox grooming the youngsters.
Well, that's exactly what we need. Bro, that's exactly what we need.
He deserves a clap. He deserves a clap.
Do you know what I mean? We're up against Man City that are getting away with murder, bro.
Inhalers, I'm gonna have to take Inhalers. I'm gonna have to take a photo of that. That's how good that is. I'm gonna have to take a photo of that, and I might tweet it. If you're on Twitter, please tweet it, and I'll share it. It's that guy Red Devil. If you're on Twitter, let us know if you're on Twitter. That's my Twitter handle. Big up to you. Go ahead, Bombay.
Yeah, I was going to say something when it comes to the structure. What I would like to see us to fix, the first thing is to get ourselves money and liquidity to buy new players. But the problem is we never sell the older players on their last contract, and we will see this summer how the club will approach this, because we have players. We have Bruno Fernandes. He's 30 at the beginning of next season. We have Luke Shaw. 30 years soon,
Maguire.
I don't know. Yeah, Harry Maguire. Will we be efficient? Can we sell them and get a little bit of money?
Don't let them
run down the contract.
Scott McTominay coming to 29.
Yeah. So for me, it's about selling those players and showing some backbone. Don't be afraid to sell big names and players who are on high wages. Do whatever it takes.
Listen, I'll bite your hand off right now if you said to me, Bruno Fernandes, 50 million to Saudi Arabia or 60 million. I'll bite your hand off right now.
I agree. But no hate on Bruno. Bruno is a good player, yeah. But it's about the club and the structure and how we are moving on forward.
Just Scott McTominay just turned 27, bro, in December. Yeah, just turned 27, man.
Let me check.
I just checked, but please check. Sorry to ruin your day.
I'll check. How old is Scott McTominay?
Just type in McTominay and then bam, it'll come up. In December, my man, born in 96, 27.
Okay, so next 28 then, yeah?
Yeah, next year he'll be 28. Yeah, so in December he just turned 27. So we're in February.
Martin, Wendy brings up a great question. If you bring up Wendy Grant's comment. She said
let me see if she's there.
Can a club sell players that are on guaranteed contracts if the players don't want to go?
That's the biggest problem.
Well, this is where the reason why you would want people like Dan Ashworth and people like Jason Wilcox and that. What it is that it's the relationship with agents, and if they would have signed those players, their agents would be in really good terms with them, and they will be asking them, "Listen, it's not working here. Can we move the player on?" And the agents can persuade them. The players sometimes, agents can persuade players and go, "Right, you want to play football? You're going to be on the bench here. Let's go. Less money. Let's play really well and ask for a bit more money at their next club after you've proven it already." It's those kind of things that happen. It's these things that happen. But the way that Manchester United have been treated by agents, we are a laughingstock. For the past decade, we have been the laughingstock. I've got my friend, Bombay, remember Abduele? Do you remember him? He used to play football with us. Yeah. He's a football agent, isn't it? And he's a United fan as well. I asked him, like, for years. One of our friends became a football agent. And he used to just burst out laughing. You got bankers who know nothing about football. You know what I mean? And then Jose Mourinho obviously came out. Jose Mourinho's so cheeky. He goes, "Oh, I don't want anybody to say bad things about Woodward, but he was a banker." I'm like, who was saying that? Who the F was saying that he's a banker? Who the F was saying that? Who the F was telling everybody and their nan that he was a banker, right? And Jose did that. And I think somebody else, somebody else said something. I think it might have been, somebody sent me this clip. I think it was Carragher, about the football Manchester United have been playing and how it's unsustainable it is. I'm like, who's been banging on about the football being unsustainable? It's like these people in the media, we say it on this as a community, like long time before. We were talking about how the United football is unsustainable from January last year. And it's unbelievable. And look, it takes them a year for them to realize, a year later for them to realize, like we're not seeing what these players are supposed to be doing. So it's going to be very interesting for me, very interesting to see what position, what these guys, amount of power, especially those in operations, because the bottom three are going to be in operations. Basically, the guy who's going to be running the club day to day is going to be Omar Barada. He's going to be the guy that's running. He's the CEO. You are the manager of the football club. Like the manager, the executive manager of the football club.
Are we saying that Omar Barada, Jim Ratcliffe is not the guy that is going to be running shit day to day? They're not going to come to him with the problems.
Ratcliffe has got a company. Listen,
Barada
got a business to run.
is the guy that the other four go to when there's beef.
So basically,
he's their line manager. Is that what we're saying?
No. Basically, Ratcliffe, Blanc, and Bryce and Dodgy Dave are sitting on the board. So they are the board. So they are, of course, above the CEO. You've got the board. So Jim the Rat.
Bravefoot is not on the board. This just Blanc and Ratcliffe and Joe Baker. So there's three.
I could be mistaken.
Okay, yeah.
But I heard that Dodgy Dave's on the board.
Okay.
That Ratcliffe asked Blanc and Dave to be included in the board.
Good night, Mick.
Yeah.
Mick's heading out.
Yeah. Big up, Mick. Make sure you check out Man UFC Realist TV, people. Tomorrow they'll be doing a preview before the game, so make sure, not a preview, but pre-match, pre-match show. So make sure you check them out. Hope you're right, Mick. But it's going to be very interesting. So yeah, Jim, Blanc, and Bradford could sack Omar Barada. So they're above him. They could sack him. But Omar Barada is the man who's in charge to the daily day of everything around the football club. He's the chief executive. He's the CEO of Manchester United. He will be the guy that's given the power to do that job with the help of the three guys above him. So the day-to-day running of the football club will reside with Omar Barada. If he gets the power, if he's truly given that power. Because I never got Woodward was the guy that had a bit of a power, because the Glazers didn't want to know. The Glazers, they were just like, long as he's bringing in the money, long as we're milking it, you can do whatever you want. But with Dan Ashworth, the Glazers became more involved. And towards the last years of Woodward, they became more involved, where we were waiting for Joe Glazer. It's almost like Joe Glazer was running the football.
Do you think if you had somebody like, what's that guy you just mentioned? Ed Woodward, and you had these five personalities around Ed Woodward, he would have done better? It seems like they had Ed Woodward trying to do the job of 3 or 4 of these guys. And he doesn't have the experience.
Because listen, Ed Woodward wasn't there on his own. He had basically to sign contracts. He used to have Matt Judge, one of his friends from Bristol University. And then he had like Richard Arnold, who was also, what was he? He was marketing manager. He was marketing.
I think it seems that what Ratcliffe is doing here is he's putting together a pretty comprehensive team of people that are specialists with track records in what exactly they do.
Yeah, he's been sacked.
There doesn't seem to be one guy that is saying, I've got a few strings to my bow, so I'll make money. I've got no experience in football, but I will sign the players. I'll do the contracts. I'll try with the manager. I'll bring a few of my mates in just to delegate and help me with the workload. This seems a little bit different than the Woodward thing, where no, This is your speciality.
By the way, I just want to remember.
Do you understand what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, not 100%. I know what you're saying. Listen, I just want to remind, big up Jamie Wayne. He's saying the only one who's there is Barada. So Manchester United fans have already jumped ahead and put Ashworth.
No, Brailsford's there,
you need to remember that. No. I'm talking about in terms of the bottom three. Like Omar is the only one has got a contract with Manchester United, and he's gonna start in the summer. For me, looks like this January's transfer. We'll discuss that more tomorrow after the match reaction, but it's still going to be controlled by. It's going to be run by Murta and these guys. Ed Woodward should only be in the sponsorship deals. By the way, Ed Woodward and Richard Arnold both got shares in Manchester United, and they got money. They got money. I think they got money, some of that 1 point something billion from Jim the Rat. They've got it. Jim the Judas Radcliffe. They got that money. Yeah. The CEO doesn't seem different from the Glazer people. Our United fans so easily manipulated. Radcliffe almost destroyed Nice. Well, to be fair,
no, he didn't.
No, but yeah. Well, they made huge mistakes at Nice, and now they've got like direct. Yes, they did. They made huge mistakes. Let me finish.
Yeah.
They made the CEO become the director of football, and he miserably failed. Then they went and signed. 3 years later, they went and signed one of the best directors of football, who was at Lens, who had the success. Lens had this incredible success, finishing second or third or whatever. And they went and got that. They got this young manager. They've got decent structure now at Nice, but it took them 4 years to get to where they got to. Yeah, they made lots of mistakes. Woodward would have been paid 1.5 million if Sheikh Jassim got the club. Wow.
I think Manchester United, there is an element of teething problems starting with this summer. Are this group of men that are being put together under Jim Ratcliffe thinking we have to be pretty ruthless? We are not going to waste time and hang on to players that we can't shift because we're not willing to take a major loss on them. We need to move quick, and we're going to take the hits. It's going to be painful, but we're not going to repeat the same mistakes again. So we are going to get rid of players. We might have to pay some players to get rid of them, but in the long term, it's okay. So this could be, 2 transfer windows before you start to see, like, okay, we've cleared it. The dust has settled. Now we're starting to put our vision together here with the way that we're signing the new players. Because with FFP, you're gonna have to. There's fat to trim in this squad. Traditionally, we've held on to players because we're skimping on 5 and 10 million, aren't we? Maguire, McTominay, if you think about that. If you think about Martial, could have just paid them out, fucked them off, and thought, right, let's just get what we actually want now and do it right. It's like, I've been a business owner. You buy a piece of equipment, it's not quite right, and you realize it very quickly. You can either try and make it work, affect the quality of the product, or just think, you know what? You've not done it right. You've bought a shit machine. This is the one that you need. Take the hit, bin it, get the one you need, and let's start working.
Yeah, but it's because of the FFP, that's the biggest problem, because we couldn't do that. We're under intense scrutiny when it comes to the FFP. I know I'm talking like the Glazers, but that's the truth. We have let it go on too far. So this season, with you talked about Maguire, Martial, players like that, we couldn't ship them off. We are basically broke when it comes to the FFP.
It's going to be difficult because you have to raise money, but who's going to buy these players and pay this? It's not the transfer fees; it's the wages.
Well, and that's where FFP comes into it, because for me, I think Manchester United I genuinely don't think Manchester United would have to sell a lot to get rid of, and Manchester United might have to sell homegrown players.
Bro, do you know
the likes of Rashford, the likes of McTominay, who else plays in the first team? Apparently, there's some links between Garnacho and Real Madrid, and apparently he does fancy. No. I'm just letting you know. I'm just letting you know what's being reported. There
I
are
think
some major. Let me finish. Major links, and that he does because his dream is to repeat what Ronaldo has done. So what I'm saying to you, Rashford now apparently is on a short list at PSG for the amount of players to replace Mbappe if Mbappe goes to Real Madrid. So these type of players, you know, like there is a Saudi club that's apparently after Bruno. I think we might have to sell some of these players. Apparently, it's also, I don't know if you heard the rumors, Nick and Bumbaye. I don't know if you heard the rumors, but apparently the Dodgy Dave and that spoke to Ranić. You know, when they're doing their review, apparently. I don't know how true that is. I've not seen any concrete, real proof, but I heard that. Is that something that you've heard, Jarvis? That is
Yeah, I
concrete?
heard rumors, but you know, Ragnick, I will take him in a heartbeat. He would be the guy who could talk directly to the Glazers and tell them to F off because he doesn't give a we know who he is. And I love Ragnick, and he's built a lot of clubs, so he's a good guy.
No, apparently, no, not that to get a job there. They spoke to him about in terms of the review that they're doing. You know, the review looking at what went wrong.
Yeah.
To give evidence in the review, like the investigation or the inquiry.
But going back to your FFP, if I think Manchester United will be okay if they have your next Caicedo, your next McAllister, your next Livramento there or thereabouts. Manchester United can.
Well, many. Kobe. How much would Kobe be worth? The potential will be worth right now.
I don't think we're looking to sell our young future assets at all. I don't think so.
You know, but listen, you don't know. Listen, you don't know that in terms of like even Rasmus. Apparently, Real Madrid is sniffing around him.
Bro, we're linked. These stories every year. We're linked with maybe 50 players every summer. We might get 5 of them, and it's because Manchester United signed those checks for the journalists and for the platforms. It's normal. But I don't think Manchester United are looking to sell, their futures, man. But Manchester United, it's been a long time since we signed and found Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, Peter Schmeichel, Ronnie Johnson. Not done that kind of business in a long, long time. A Chicharito. And now we're talking about bringing people in that do have record. Dan Ashworth excites me, I must say. I'm not really interested in this stuff, but I went away and learned a little bit about what he's done. I'm like, well, who is this guy? I don't know. If Manchester United have identified some tidy players that might not be the marquee signings to come in and fill the stead of some of the big stuff that we can get rid of, then we could have a successful transfer window. If Erik Ten Hag gets this team playing good, decent, getting some results, and you add maybe 3 or 4 nice players, get rid of, a few, it's a good start as long as the players that you bring in are playing, like you say, under a new cloud, man, a positive cloud where the manager's got back in, where there's a good team doing this stuff. Do you know what I mean? All we've been doing is just let's go and sign marquee players for crazy money and let's watch them crash and burn.
And that's why, big up Jamie Wayne. That's why I'm asking everybody: has anybody seen any concrete? To me, the PR from the Ineos regime and the quartersexuals is just overdrive in the UK. Everything's possible. He's going to build a new stadium. He's going to do this. I'm just like, listen. All of a sudden, Manchester United have won the lottery. You know what I mean? We've already jackpot. We won the lottery, but I'm just like, let's not get too giddy, man.
Do you know what it is? You know how you're traumatized?
The biggest thing is I have to see it to believe it.
Yeah.
I have to see it to. When everybody telling me about Richard Arnold, remember everybody was telling us about Richard Arnold and Murta. What was I saying? I have to see it to believe it.
Yeah.
And did they bring anything that's amazing? No.
Do you know our fan base has had 10 years of shit, man. And only as the years have ticked by, in retrospective, we thought like, wow, this is a real disaster, in the post-mortem. So as soon as you get a glimmer of hope, we hang on to it these days. Because you're just desperate for something to change, man. I mean, if you think about what we've had in terms of players and managers, it's hard.
So let me just answer this question. Big up Craig Welby. Well, if you only asked about the goals, then he's worth 40 million. If you asked about actually what he is as a footballer, he's
80.
worth 5 pence.
Piss off.
But if you just talk about goals, then as the goal scoring midfielder, yeah, 40 million should be at least get 40 million for him. But if you only analyze that he scores goals. But if you analyze that, what kind of a midfielder he is, then
I think, honestly,
million,
what do you think, really, that's no joke, what's Scott McTominay worth as a player in today's market? I think 35 million would be fair. 40 would be very good, I think, for me. I don't know, what do you think? You looking like 20, 25, maybe 15, you guys?
I don't rate the guy. I actually think footballing wise, the type of football
what do you think he's worth?
So let me the type of footballer that I actually like. Is he good at tackling? Is he good at cutting out? Is he super intelligent? Can he cut out the passing lanes? Does he have positional discipline? Does he have scanning? All of the different things for me you need to have as a midfielder. So for me to rate you, he has. The most important thing though in football is putting the ball at the back of the net, and he has a hack of scoring goals, especially this season for United and Scotland as well. And Scotland are in the Euros, people.
See, look, Craig Warby is. I always knew he had. He's an intelligent man. Look, he's becoming a proven PL striker. We're looking at 100 million. FFP solved, boys. Big up, Craig. No, but really, what do you think he's worth? I'm thinking like 35, 40 is good, fair, solid money there. Because I do rate him. I think he is a good player. But what do you think? I mean, we're getting all sorts. I think people are looking towards the 20 mark. There's people. People are going to say 20. Some might even say 15. I think that's throwaway, really. What do you think is worth, guys? Give it a ballpark. Like, what would you be looking at for a player like that?
Obviously, he's a homegrown player, so we will get 100% of the sale value, and
worth.
Yeah, and we should be interested in getting as much as possible. But he's no way near 100 million. Maybe in a good day 50, but as Nordin mentioned, if you know football and you assess him as a footballer, he has so many things that he can't do. And he can score goals, so he has some extremes, but the rest of it, the basics are not there. So for me, I think we should be very glad if we can get 35 million for Scott McTominay. I think that's even pushing it.
Right. On that note, people, I'm really exhausted. I'm tired. It's like the protest demo. I went to watch the film. Watched American Fiction, funny film today.
I've seen it with Jeffrey Wright.
Yeah.
Very good film, actually.
Yeah.
It says a lot, doesn't it?
Yeah, we'll talk soon about it.
Big up to
Jarvis. Jarvis, hopefully you'll be available for the match reaction tomorrow. Around 9 o'clock. If you're around, lots of love. Big up to everybody.
Yeah, Jarvis, Craig was joking, right?
Yeah, sure, I know.
Because you answered it like
this
it was
community
real.
knows football. They are not dumb as that. So yeah, I understand that.
Oh dear.
Yeah. No, yeah, 100%. I've seen that. Yeah, I've seen the United stand getting embedded with Manchester United as a football club. Yeah, people kept sending me stuff about it, saying that what's happening with the United stand. They decided to join the Jim the Rat revolution, man. That's what they've done. They decided to join
that means so that guy. What's his name? Mark.
Yeah. Big up Mina. Listen, big up Mina Football. It's her birthday today. Make sure, people, you give her some love. Go and check out Mina Football, her channel. Make sure you check her channel out. And hopefully she'll be on here very soon talking about all things Manchester United. Reading a riot act to me for being too negative, but it is what it is. Love and light, everybody.
Oh, that's got some reinforcements.
Yeah. We'll see you. We'll see you on for the match reaction tomorrow. McTominay makes less than Brandon Williams. Oh yeah, because there is a tradition, by the way, when you're a youth player that you come through, and if you get your contract, you don't get paid a lot. That's why what's his name? Mason Mount wanted to leave Chelsea, because the players that they buy, they have to give them big contract to entice them to come to the club. But when you're there, you know, you've gone from the different, you know what I mean? You're a product of that club. They don't have to give you that much money unless you've got an amazing kind of agents that can squeeze a lot of money, or you scoring a lot of goals and you become the main face of Manchester United like Rashford, then it is what it is. But big up, love and light, people. But anyway,
this is a good comment.
There you go. We'll finish with that. The massacre and Rafah is taking place as we speak right now, people. What's coming out of Palestine, it's heartbreaking on every levels. So the only thing you can do is educate. If any of you just educate 5 or 6 people around you what's going on truly, then the Palestinians, that's the least you can do. And that's the message we got from them. They said, some of you people, you're ordinary people, you don't have no political power to help us, but please tell the world about our genocide. Let people know what's happened to us. So that's the only thing that we can do. But we say here, we say it clearly, in it, fuck Zionism, fuck YouTube for demonetizing me and shadow banning the channel. Please, we're going to try to do a drive to get more subscribers. We're going to do a drive. So maybe you can help me, guys. If you get 5 people to subscribe to the channel, because I genuinely think people are subscribing, but it's not letting us know that they're subscribing because we're being shadow banned. And this is not just happening to me, people. It's happening to a lot of people. When I do videos with Saeed now on his channel, they shadow ban that as well. If I'm on a show with Saeed, they shadow ban that as well. So it's crazy what's happening. But please just get people to subscribe and like the videos and to become part of the community. You can help that. This is how you fight against the system that's trying to silence us when we talk about Zionism. Zionism, it's a racist ideology. It needs to be fought at every way, at every level. Judaism, people, is a
faith.
It's a faith like Oman, and it's also being Jewish is an ethnic group as well, because of the history and the persecution, what happened to Jewish people in Europe. So never, do not allow yourself to ever conflate the two. Zionism is one thing, Judaism is a religion and an ethnic.
Think of it this way. Sorry, Dino. Think of it this way. ISIS does not represent Muslims any more than Israel and Zionism represents people that follow the religion of Moses.
There you go. There you go, people. Listen, it is what it is. But big love and light, people. Big love and light. Fuck Zionism. Fuck Starmer. Fuck Sunak. Genocide Joe. Fuck Netanyahu. And all these other evil monsters who just get off on murdering.
Last one. Jamie Wayne there.
Women, children.
Twats like Rishi Sunak. They're not part of my England. They don't represent me or you.
Britain,
yeah?
Britain, yeah.
Vast
majority of the British people, they don't.
Fuck them all, exactly.
Yeah. So that's what we say, people. Fuck them all, and free Palestine, free the Congo, free Sudan, free the Tigray region, and what's happening in Ethiopia as well, and that part of East Africa. And we say love, light to anybody who's oppressed because of their gender, their orientation, their skin color, their religion, anybody, for anything they can't help for. They can't help who they are as being a human being. Any of those. Nura, did you get the mobile performance? No, I'm going to check it out, though. I'm going to see him soon, hopefully, in March. I'm going to see Gets. Big up Hector Rico. Yeah. South Africa, Yemen are the only countries that have done something about it, yeah. Big up South Africa. Big up to South Africa, yeah. But big up to all of you. Did you see Gets? No, I'm gonna check it out, bro. Big up to you though for letting me know. Yeah, and thank you so much for overhearing me about the transparency, how past 4 months I've just been in a spiraling, you know what I mean? And I have to know that I have to take care of myself. Self-care is important, and Jarvis pointed out. If you burn, you know what I mean? You can't allow yourself to be burnt out in that way. So yeah, but big up Love and light. Take care. Yeah. Somebody being killed because of their belief. We don't believe that either. So people who are oppressed in Russia, political suppression, we don't believe it. We understand that Russia actually is to try to counterbalance the US hegemony in the world, but we don't believe them killing anybody either, any innocent people or people who've not done anything wrong. But it's really interesting how no news now from Gaza because of one person, and there's 30,000 dead in Palestine, but all in Europe, the news is all about one person. When you got 30,000, you got nearly 14,000 children blown apart. It's crazy because the news, Craig, does not believe in the rights and the humanity of Palestinians or anybody else in the Congo or Sudan and anywhere else. It's very racist, man. Very racist. Our government just sat there on their fucking ass, done nothing because they're part of it. That's why. Yeah, Jamie, they're actually funding it. Your tax money, my tax money, one by tax money is funding the genocide. That's what they're doing. Yeah. Yeah, that's what they're doing. But anyway, love and light, people. Win, lose or draw. Glazers out. Bankers out. Fuck Zionism. Peace, love, and liberation.
Peace.
You say peace. You say love, liberation, and light, actually. Because you can have peace, have a lots of injustice. The new word is liberation, people. Liberation. So it's love, liberation, and light always. Take care, people. We'll be back tomorrow around maybe 9 o'clock or maybe 8 o'clock for the match reaction.
For the celebration. For the celebration.
I hope they've not put their kids to death on it. If United lose tomorrow, it's on these two. 3-1 Merchant. It's on these two.
Sorry.
If we win 3-1, then I'll be right.
What's their ground called?
I forgot. Kenilworth Road, something like that. Is it called Kenilworth Road?
There's a pub near me called the Kenilworth, you know.
Yeah. Let's hope that comes in a good luck. Bro, if you lose, you know who to blame in it, these two. They're both to blame. But anyway, big up love and light. And if we win, then I'll hold my hands up and say I was wrong. And maybe that guy who came on before said that I know nothing about football is right. There we go. Love and light, people. Take care. Good night. Fox Zionism.